I rock a dad bod. Drop my Hellcat like it's NASCAR. It's NASCAR. Barbecuing in my backyard. Gotta love it on my dad bod.
So there it is, a theme song entry from Jamie Mines out of Calgary, Alberta. He sent me the song. He is known to the Calgary Flames faithful as Trumpet Guy. If you're interested in hearing some of Jamie Mines' music, he's a really great young MC out of Cowtown. You can find his stuff on Spotify as well as Apple iTunes. Well, welcome to the podcast. There's the theme song. I'll give you details on how you can get his music. And what a weekend we just went through. The Alvinston Killer Bees and the Stratford Fighting Irish in the first round of the sprint to the Sleeman Cup in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. It was an interesting three-game series. The Stratford Fighting Irish scoring 12 goals in 2 games. It was a sweep. The broom came out. We've got some highlights for you from Game 1. Unfortunately, at the William Allman Arena, Game 2, no highlights due to some internet issues, but let's look at the highlights from Game 1. A couple of the goals are missing due to internet issues, but here's the ones we captured. And let me tell you, they're beauties. Let's go.
With it in the corner, trying to walk out. And there was no trip. Rebound, scores! A big...
Andrew Bogdan, big man in front of the net, unable to move. He just missed one about 10 seconds ago.
And the puck cleared back into the high slot, shot, scores! And a few bodies in front of the net gives the Irish a 2-1 lead. Back to set up. They're battling for it in the corners. Broomhead's on the ice. Here's the puck. Back around the net. Robbins looks for Broomhead. Huge save, and he finds the rebound. And Broomhead sticks it in the net. And Matt Martin takes the shot. Rebound. Takes another shot. Rebound. Scores. And there he is. Bogdan again. Found the rebound. Shoots it at the net through the 5-hole. Tees one up. Rips it wide. Puck takes a funny bounce off the stanchion. Back to Robbins. Shoots.
So there are the highlights from Game 1 of the Stratford Fighting Irish hosting the Alvinston Killer Bees in the playoff round. They did win that game 5-1, but they did lose a couple of important players. There was some suspensions handed out after some antics that took place. Andrew Bogdan got handed a 4-game suspension. Nick Jung also getting handed a 2-game suspension, so his will be up Game 2 in Stratford on Saturday at 4:30. So Game 2, no highlights due to some internet issues, but the Stratford Fighting Irish won a tight game, even though the score doesn't sound like it. They had to come back to win. They pulled the Toronto Maple Leafs, really. They won 7-4 in Game 2. So the Irish win. They move on. They take on the Allura Rocks. We're going to talk to a few players from the Allura Rocks and the Stratford Fighting Irish coming up a little bit later on the podcast. But we are definitely going to chat with a few players from the other series too. The Tillsonburg Thunder's Jesse Raymond, the goaltender, he chats with us about what they have to do to win this. Joining me on the podcast is the goaltender from the Tillsonburg Thunder, Jesse Raymond. You guys have it tough this weekend. You've got Game 1 with the Strathroy Jets. You're going into this, Jesse, as the underdogs. How do you feel about that? Do you use that in the dressing room as some sort of way to drive yourself a little better?
I mean, if you look at the whole season, where we played, I guess, with the kind of lineup that we've had the last couple games before the playoffs here, I think we kind of like our position. Either way, we're going to have to play, Strathroy or Allura in order to win the whole thing. So, I mean, I don't mind facing them first round. They're definitely a good team. I mean, I got a chance to play against them once this year, midway through, I think. Unfortunately, they beat us. But I'm actually excited to see what both teams kind of bring to the table.
So what do you think you need to do to be successful in this series against the Jets? What are some key points for your team?
Well, they're a very skilled team. So, I mean, just tight defensively for one. Make sure everyone's healthy and in the lineup each night. That's something that we struggled with throughout the season. So if we have a full lineup, I think that we stack up real well against them. We're very skilled offensively. We have really good D that can make a breakout pass. So I mean, we showed that in the last couple of games. So if we put all that together and tighten up on the defensive side of the puck, then I think we're in good shape.
Now, do you think that getting the week off and getting the bye, does that hamper you as a team? Because you'd be a little bit, you hadn't skated all last week, or was it very important for you guys to get?
I think a week off isn't too bad. Yes, it's nice to, stay in the flow of things. We wanted to get on the ice today, but apparently there was an issue with at the rink, so we didn't even get practiced in this week. So we kind of got a bit of a longer bye than we expected. But I think that it's decent for us because there are still some guys that are recovering from other injuries and whatnot. So it gives us a chance to get everybody in the lineup again and hopefully put together a really good series, and hopefully the fans will enjoy it. So,
and I've heard the Tillsonburg rink can get very loud. How do you think that will go up a little bit now that the playoffs have started?
I think so. I mean, with COVID and everything, some people shied away. Were hesitant on coming to the games all over the place. One thing about Strathroy is, I mean, they're always rowdy in their blue line club. So. You try and zone that out in the other rink. At our rink, hopefully with the playoffs are on the corner here, and the restrictions kind of loosening up a little bit. Hopefully we can get some more fans in there and, put on a good show for the fans.
And you are in Strathroy for game 1, Friday night, 7:30. Rowdy Arena, you were saying, in Strathroy. Do you try immediately to take the crowd out of it to calm things down?
You know what? It kind of brings back, memories from junior and whatnot, because I used to play in that building when I played for St. Mary's. So I don't know. It kind of gets you fired up a little bit when the other fans are, yelling at you or whatever. So in a sense, yes. I like to see action early. You see the puck a couple times early on in the game. It's kind of easier to zone out the crowd. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that stuff. I think the boys will get fired up too. You'll probably see a physical series with us and them. They're pretty physical all year long. So I think you're gonna hear the crowd get fired up quite a few times throughout the series.
Fantastic, Jesse. Well, you just mentioned you played juniors. Why don't we get to know you a little bit in the interview, so people who are tuning in this week can say, "Hey, I know that guy," after they watch this. You mentioned you played. You mentioned you played juniors there. Where did you play? Where did you play minor hockey? Tell me a little bit about your hockey journey.
Yeah, for sure. So minor hockey, I played in Woodstock, single A, double A. 2 years before the draft for the OHL, I ended up jumping over to AAA in Brantford. So I played 2 years there for the 99ers. After the draft, I played in underage years and an AP for the Woodstock Renegades at the time. First year junior of eligibility. Then I ended up playing in St. Mary's for a year. The following season, I ended up getting an opportunity with the Sarnia Sting. So I played a split year there with the Sarnia Legionnaires junior B team and the OHL club, the Sting. The following year after that, I ended up playing in the the Tier 2A league up in Toronto area. So I played for the Brampton Capitals. Saw a lot of playing time there. And then to finish up my junior career, I decided to come back closer to home in the Woodstock area and played for the Stratford Culletons at the time. So following that, completed college and junior at the same time, and got an opportunity to go to the CIS League and play for UOIT Ridgebacks, which is up Oshawa way. So I was up there for 3 years, had a lot of fun with it. Didn't play a whole lot, but I mean, it was a good experience, as a lot of guys that have played in that league know. And then after that, I ended up in the WOAA for 5 or 6 years, I believe. And then with this league starting up, I had an opportunity with Tillsonburg Thunder. So nice. It's nice to be a part of this league. The startup's been great. They've done a good job with it. I mean, with COVID and everything, it's been a tough season for any startup league. My understanding is that it's looked like it's going to grow next year with a couple more teams coming along. So hopefully the travel stays nice and short, like it is, even with a few teams coming in. But it should be better for the league.
So yeah, we're all like, a couple more teams would make this a beauty of a league. I've really enjoyed working with it so far. So how has the transition been for you as a player coming over to the WOSHL?
For myself, I mean, I enjoyed the WOA for sure. Obviously, I don't know the behind the scenes stuff and why, maybe another league started up and whatnot and teams jumped over. But I mean, I was excited for the opportunity to be a part of it. Tillsonburg has always been a good team to play against. They were always a strong team over on that side. It was a fairly easy transition. I mean, there's a couple different rule changes in this league. Like I think the overtime, I don't know if they changed it or not. I don't think we ever played in overtime, but the whole 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 1-on-1 thing would be very interesting. I mean, seeing a 1-on-1 battle after, 8 minutes, 10 minutes of overtime prior to that would be pretty interesting. The other thing too, I think players flipping the puck over the glass was a penalty originally, but that was changed. I mean, we're allowed wearing cat eyes now, which was an issue in the WOA, where, one team would wear it one game and get called out. The next game goes to be wearing it and, it'd be a free for all. So there's a couple things that are different, but all in all, I mean, I think it's a pretty easy transition. Hockey's pretty similar. Obviously there's some growing pains for some teams that are starting up. But I think, I went through that when I was in C4th. I played for a team that was, won 2 games, I think, the year before I got there.
Is that the 86ers? The 86s?
No,
the C4 team?
Sutton-Ayers.
Sutton-Ayers, yes. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, when I got there, I started there with Merritt. I think he was on a previous podcast and talked about, the rebuild and whatnot and how tough it can be. Yeah, from 5 years there, we ended up building up a really strong team. So I think they're still in the semifinals right now. So, other teams in this league have that opportunity to do that too. And then that's just going to only make the league a little bit better.
For sure, Jesse. And I'd like to thank you for joining me. You are in Strathroy this Friday night, game 1 of the semifinals against the Jets, man. Good luck.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So there was Jesse Raymond's thoughts from the Tillsonburg Thunder. And now we're going to go over and check out the thoughts from the Strathroy Jets and see how they feel going into this semifinal playoff series against said Thunder. All right, joining me now after just talking to Tillsonburg Thunder, we've got the Strathroy Jets, Dane Johnstone, forward for the team. How do you feel going into this weekend and hosting the Thunder for game 1?
I think the guys are feeling pretty good. It should be a pretty good series against the Thunder. We played them a couple of times this year. We've had some good games against them. Hopefully we'll get things going at home on Friday and come out hot against them, and it should be a pretty good series. So, Dane, you guys, Tillsonburg is the underdog in this. Do you have to keep mentally prepared, and your team has to mentally prepare to not think of them as an underdog and just play your game and not play down to anyone? Yeah, I think that's been one of the big things Scotty's kind of mentioned to the guys all season. It's just with senior hockey, you never know what you're going to get. You could show up to a game and be short 2 or 3 guys. And so I think just going into every single game, it's just kind of adapting to everything going on. And you could think you're going to have a full team and then it's a short roster, or you think you're going to have a short roster and you end up having a full team. So I think just making sure you go out, play every game the same as you would. And I think that's been a pretty big part of our success throughout the year.
You guys have been a really strong team, and from what I hear and what I understand of the videos I watch, you get yourself a pretty loud arena. Do you use that for your advantage in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think Strathroy is a great community. I think it's came around the team. They always came around the Rockets and Junior B. I remember playing there, and so the guys are really excited to see in playoffs. I think the fans will definitely get into it. We have got some pretty big crowds, and I think we're expecting a pretty big one on Friday. So hopefully we can draw from that energy.
And in practices and stuff, you had a week off. Do you prefer the time off to maybe rest a little bit, or would you have rather got going a little sooner?
I think being on the ice definitely helps with the older guys. I think just keeping your body loose and just being able to get out with the guys and just go for a skate, whether it's just an hour or it's an hour and a half. I think just getting the guys together as a team is pretty good because you don't really get that much practices. You only have one per week, so you definitely got to use them when you can. So I personally prefer to be on the ice, but I know some guys like to rest their body because throughout the weekends it can get pretty banged up. So
what is the game plan for you guys to win the series? What's the plan to go in? Just keep playing Strathroy Jets hockey?
Yeah, I think we got like you said, we got a very strong team here in Strathroy. So I think definitely use the four lines to our advantage. It's not like we have one line that just gets all the points. We got all four lines go all the time, and so I think it's good if the top line has an off night. The bottom line sometimes picks it up, and so there's not really a 1-4 line set. And I think that's a huge thing about the Jets is we're a pretty depth team, and so I think we'll definitely use that to our advantage and just wear teams down, hopefully.
So let's get to know you a little bit. You know, somebody could be tuning into this podcast and go, I've seen Dane play, but I don't know Dane. But now let's get them over that hump. You mentioned junior hockey. Let's go through your hockey journey a little bit.
I grew up playing in Elgin Middlesex Chiefs. I started in minor Adam, went right to minor midget. Then after that, I went to St. Thomas Stars for my 16-year-old year. Then I went up and played with the Flint Firebirds for 2 years in the OHL. And then at the end of my second year, I dropped down to play with St. Thomas. And then I got traded to Chatham. And I played for the Maroons for 2 years and then had a good stint there. And then kind of went into coaching a bit. Started coaching for the Elgin Middlesex Chiefs with my dad and brother. Just kind of giving back because they were pretty helpful for me. For developing me. So I think that was good. Coached that team for 2 years, and then this is my first year off, and then heard about the Jets and definitely was interested to get back on the ice because you do start to miss it even though you think you're done playing, and then as soon as you're back on the ice you realize why you love the game. And so I think that's how I got here.
How has your transition been from taking that time off junior hockey to the WOSHL?
I think it's definitely different. You live a totally different life now. Like I work full time, and so I think your body definitely notices it more than you're playing junior. You're younger when you're playing junior, so your body's a little bit more forgiving. And then so I try not to mix it up as much now. Just go out, have fun, more skill. But definitely when I was playing junior, I would definitely go in the corners pretty hard, and so I think that aspect of my game's kind of gone away, but I'm glad I'm playing senior. It's been awesome for me. It's good to see guys that you haven't seen since you were playing, and you know you get some rivalries from when you were playing junior, and then now you see them and they're on your team, or just seeing them and going up for a beer after the game. It's pretty awesome.
So you're going in the play. Are you guys going to have any team building? You're going to grow playoff beards? Are you going to dye the lettuce blonde? What's the situation in Strathroy?
Guys haven't really talked about it. I got some guys that can't really grow any facial hair. That's always been my issue come playoff time. But I don't know, to be honest. We'll talk about it tonight at practice and just go from there. But I'm sure someone has something up their sleeve. Any
pregame rituals for you? Do you follow a certain pattern? You go, I have to do this, this, and this, or no?
I used to be kind of just when I was playing OHL, I had to get my pregame nap in, and then just had your meals a couple hours before the games and stuff, and then I always like to get to the rink early, but now it's kind of slacked off just because you can't really do that right now. But I'm a big put my left side of my equipment on before my right. I don't know why I do that. I think it's just
I used
habit,
to do that too.
You don't really notice it until someone comments about it, and then you're like, "Oh, I didn't really notice I did that." But so yeah, that's what I do at least. But I do have to tape. I used to have to tape my stick before every game, but got away from that too. So
Tape can be expensive. I get it.
yeah. No, the Jets keep treat us well. They definitely, if you need anything, they're the first to get it. Jake and Ketz and LaBerge, they did a great job getting this team up and running in Strathroy, and I think the community's really cool around it. So I love playing there, and it's been awesome so far for the first season.
Yeah, I've heard Rowdy Blue Line Club. How do you keep that going in a game? Do you guys just get out there, throw the body around, and try to keep them in the game?
Yeah, they're always up there looking for one play. So we have a couple of guys that still like to throw the body around, and so definitely once they get hit, or if we get on the score sheet, they definitely get into it. It's pretty awesome. With the senior hockey, like to see the fans still get into it quite a bit. It's a pretty good feeling for sure. Hopefully playoffs, it gets pretty loud in there. I know they're expecting a pretty big crowd for Friday, so hopefully they turn out.
Perfect, Dane. I won't keep you too much longer. I just want to thank you for taking some time, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. It's great.
So a great little insight there as we spoke to Dane Johnstone from the Strathroy Jets, a forward. And here's how that series is shaping up. Game 1, Friday, March 11th in Strathroy. Game 2 is in Tillsonburg on Saturday, March 12th. And then next weekend, Friday, March 18th in Strathroy. Game 4, Saturday, March 19th in Tillsonburg. And if necessary, Game 5, 6, and 7. Game 5, Friday, March 25th in Strathroy. Game 6, Saturday, March 26th in Tillsonburg, and the scary Game 7 to be determined will be in Strathroy. All games will start at 7:30. Let's shift our attention now on the Elora Rocks taking on the Stratford Fighting Irish. So some pretty good insight there from the Strathroy Jets and the Tillsonburg Thunder, but let's go to Greg Huzarek now from the Stratford Fighting Irish and talk about what they have to do to follow up that impressive playoff win against the Alvinston Thunder as they take on the first place Elora Rocks. Here's that interview. Greg Huzarek is on the podcast now. You're with the Stratford Fighting Irish. You guys had a big series against the Alvinston Killer Bees, Greg. You scored, 12 goals in 2 games, and now you're facing the first overall team, the Elora Rocks. What do you guys have to do in this series to get the victory?
I think that, first of all, we have no illusions about the Rocks. Like they're a top-notch club, but I think that we play like we can with the speed we've got up front, and just fight that we have throughout the whole team, that we can we'll give these guys a good run this series, and it should be a good series. So I'm looking forward to it.
So I hear the Elora Rocks have a loud arena. What's your plan to take the crowd out of it when you get there in Game 1?
I think just come out the gates hard, and don't give them a lot of chances or shots or a lot of momentum. Take the crowd out of the game by sometimes it's good to play a bit of a boring road game. Sometimes a little bit of dump the puck in. Don't we're not going to try to run and gun with these guys too much, because they just got too much talent. But if we take the crowd out, then obviously that'll work to our advantage going into it.
So as I mentioned, you scored 12 goals in 2 games. You probably aren't expecting that against the Elora Rocks, so you're probably going to tighten up a little bit defensively.
Yeah, obviously we got they got a lot of talent up front, so we're going to have to play well defensively, limit the shots, the chances, the odd man rushes, all those things. And when we get our own opportunities, put the puck in the net. And I don't think you're going to see a lot of 7-5, 8-7 kind of games. They're going to be tight checking games. So I I think that be a good series.
Yeah, I have 2 suspensions, a rather long one there with that Andrew Bogdan. How do you guys work around that with the lineup?
Yeah. We'll have to have some guys. We got some guys coming in the lineup. We'll just have to step up. Obviously, those are 2 big shoes to fill with Bonesy and Junger being out. But Jung's only out, I think, the first game anyway. So he should be back game 2, and then Bones will be back in a couple of games as well. But it's hard to fill a guy, especially like Bones. He's really physical player. But we all have to just step up as a group and play like we can. And he'll be back later in the series. So we'll weather the storm in the first few games, and he'll be back.
So you guys had a practice, I believe you practice on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
What was the message from Jamie Petrie, your head coach, in the practice heading into the series?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, sticking to our system, really being disciplined with it, knowing when to forecheck, when to kind of set up and play the way we want to play. A little bit of power play stuff as well. So I think special teams may be a big thing in this series. We can stay disciplined. We think we maybe get some calls our way and get some power plays and put some pucks in the net. So I think those are a couple keys to success there. And then also the big thing is the neutral zone play. Like whoever controls the neutral zone in this series probably win the series. So that's what we're focusing on.
So why don't we get to know you a little bit, Greg? So we're going to have Stratford faithful out there. Why don't we learn a little bit about Greg? Where did you play minor hockey? Where did you play junior hockey? And what brought you to the WOSHL? And what brought you to you? Are you in Stratford?
I live in Baden, so kind of halfway between Stratford and Kitchener-Waterloo. So
okay,
yeah.
So what about the junior and minor days?
Well, that's how much time do you have?
Oh goodness, how much time? Have you been around? Do you have some stickers on the suitcase?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't grow up in this area. I grew up in Bancroft, Ontario. So
oh, nice.
Pretty remote town. There was no AAA hockey close by. The closest would have been Belleville or Peterborough. So I basically stayed local growing up. I think Belleville, Peterborough are about over an hour drive, which my parents weren't about to do when I was younger. So, we had a lot of guys in the same boat. So I just played, for those familiar with minor hockey, I played like Bancroft was a C center. So pretty, I guess, a little bit lower level than what a lot of guys at this league now played at growing up. But we had a really good team, won some OMHA championships in Bantam and midget. I'm not sure what those are now. They have U16 or 15. I don't even know how the translation goes, but we were, pretty good team at that level. We beat some higher level teams too. And then after my midget year, we had a local Tier 2 Junior A team in the Ontario Provincial Junior A Hockey League. And so it just so happened that I got an opportunity there. And so I played 1 year junior there and then was off to school to the University of Waterloo. And first year there, I wasn't recruited to go there. I was kind of there for school and just decided to go out and try out and walked onto the team, which was a big accomplishment. And then unfortunately, I had a leg injury, broke my fibula, which is the lower part of your leg, my first fall out there. So that was a big setback for my career, if you want to call it back that. And then when I recovered from that, I played the rest of that season with the junior B team in Waterloo, the Siskins. Then played again for Waterloo for the next couple years. And I actually played a year of senior hockey around that time as well for the Desperado Bulldogs in the Eastern Ontario's Hockey League. So I played there a year, then I came back, and then I started playing like senior hockey around here, and I played like 13 years, 14 years, something like that for the Milverton 4-wheel drive. So then earlier this year, Jamie gave me a call. I was down working in the States and gave me a call. We talked a little bit and seemed like a good opportunity to come to Stratford. And I'm really enjoying my time there, and everyone's been really supportive, and it's a great group of guys. So I'm really happy to be part of the Irish now. So that's my hockey journey in about 2 minutes, but.
Well, that's perfect. Bancroft, by the way, I worked for a Moose FM in Bracebridge, which was sister stations with the Moose in Bancroft. Yeah. So I know all about the town of Bancroft. Also, I went to Loyalist. Absolutely, I went to Loyalist College in Belleville, so I've met many of Bancroft locals. So I'm pretty aware of the town and the spirit in which Bancroft carries. So. It's a great little place. Yeah, cool. Do you guys have any? Great place to. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say it was a great place to grow up. I love growing up there. Just a great town to live in and grow up in. So lots of hockey spirit and other outdoor stuff as well. So it's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with the Stratford Fighting Irish, is there any dressing room traditions going into the playoffs? Is there playoff beards amongst the team? Are you dyeing the hair blonde? What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm growing a playoff beard. You can see the start of it, maybe. I shaved her there last week, so coming in a little bit. That's about a week right there, so we'll see. Hopefully we make it into the next round and got a good beard on by that time. But I don't think there's too many other traditions or stuff we're doing that I know of yet. I mean, really, we're just trying to win hockey games and doing the best we can that way. So,
well, awesome, Greg. Look forward to watching you guys. I'll be there Saturday as I call the games. Good luck coming up against the Allure Rocks.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that. Obviously, I got the game Friday night, but then Saturday, we get a good crowd out in Stratford. Any Irish fans, come on out, support us on Saturday. We want to have a big crowd out and put on a good show. So
perfect, Greg. Thank you. Good luck the rest of the way. All right, now let's talk to Ty Campbell from the Allure Rocks, who has a very special guest with him. And no big deal, the dude's got a sweet duster. All right, Ty and Spencer with me, and we were talking about your series. You're going up against the Stratford Fighting Irish guys. You had a heck of a good regular season. How do you carry that into the playoffs?
You can start, Ty. Yeah, we try to keep doing what we do in the regular season. We have a pretty talented group of guys, and we have a lot of fun together as a team, so we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and we've been successful so far, so we're hoping to bring that in the playoffs.
So what do you
like you said, we're...
Go ahead, sorry. I get thrown off by your mustache. It's just so wonderful.
I know, I grew it myself, man. What can I say?
Good for you.
Yeah, like you said, we had a good team, and we had a lot of good bodies, a lot of good guys, and we're just going to keep rolling into the playoffs. Hopefully we get a good turnout in the crowd, and away we go.
Well, you guys, how is the crowd been this regular season for you?
They've been good so far. The support in the Allure has been good. We've got some good local sponsors and a good group of local hockey players on the team this year. So we've had a good crowd at most home games.
I have heard the Allure the arena is loud. I've heard that. So you're hoping it'll be louder this playoff run?
Yeah, like Rich has done a lot of good job throughout the whole season with getting sponsors and the community involved. We had like the Santa Claus parade. We had like pretty good turnout. We were part of the community. Yeah. So it's nice to see the stands filled. Because I remember before me and Spence used to play on Allure, we'd get like maybe a couple parents out there and some fans. But now it's like we're packing the barn and it really gets the boys going each night for sure. Yep.
Well, it would definitely fire you guys up. So as you enter the playoffs, do you guys have any rituals going into the playoffs? Are you going to dye the lettuce? Are you going to grow stashes? Obviously, you already have that. Is the team going to follow it?
I tried to get some of the boys on to the mustache, but I don't think anybody feels worthy of rocking something this nice.
Well, you got a gold medal there. Like, nobody wants to compete.
Thank you. I think the only guy I think I can. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, quote the great, not quote, but give praise to Lanny McDonald. I think that's who I got to hold my mustache up to. That's who I aspire to be.
Well, if he's your mustache hero, you picked a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. So the Stratford Fighting Irish are a bit of a scrappy team. They're a hard-working team. What do you have to do to keep the crowd in your home game? And what do you have to do to take the crowd out when you visit Stratford?
We just gotta like keep doing what we're doing. Like obviously Stratford's very physical, like on our D and stuff. So we just kind of gotta do the same to them. Be hard on them, be hard on the forecheck, and just keep pressing, pretty much.
Yeah, like you said, well, they got to use the body. They're physical, so we got to play that style of game too. And scoring a couple goals doesn't hurt as well.
And the Allman Arena is big. It's got bounces. The boards can be, well, you don't know what they're going to do unless you're the home team. How do you work around that?
Well, it's always tough. I remember playing the junior days in that arena. It's never fun going to there on the road in the playoffs. So we just kind of got to grind through it, as you could say, because there's really no competing with it.
So, you know what? We're talking the playoff series, but let's get to know you two. Where did you play junior? Who wants to start that story and give us a little story behind how you got to where you are today?
You can start.
Mine's a little bit more of like, where did I not play? To be honest. It's funny because me and Spence has actually been like my longest teammate. We played together in Milton Ice Hawks for a bit, and then we played the Halton Ravens in the GMHL, and we played together in Aurora 2 years ago. We were together now. I grew up playing the GTHL, Toronto Young Nats. Got drafted and just played in the OJ for a couple teams here and there, and that was pretty much about my career. I went to university at Guelph, and I just kind of wanted to continue playing, and graduated there 2 years ago, and I was not playing for a little bit, and I called up Spence and said, what's going on with Aurora? And he told me there's a new start with Rich and Mitch Scott. So I said, might as well give another kick at the can, and that's where I am today, playing with the boys, and happy to be there each night.
Fantastic.
Yeah, your suitcase definitely has some miles on it. I started playing junior in Milton with Ty here in the junior A there. And then I went over to junior B in the GoJ with Caledonia. And I was fortunate enough to win a Sutherland Cup there. And had a cup of tea over in NCAA there in Sweden. And then just found myself playing in good old Aurora for the last 5 years and loving it.
How have you found the transition to the Western Ontario Super Hockey League from your past leagues?
Well, it's a new year. It has some. It's a new league, new year, and has some struggles. But I think the people who run the league have done a great job with advertising, promoting the talent we have. We're attracting new fan bases. We have different, like Alvinston, per se. We have new fan bases, so that's huge. And the gameplay is great, which obviously is good for on ice production.
Yeah, compared to other senior, I've seen that like it's a lot younger of a league, so going out to the boosters is a lot of fun, even with the guys on the other team. Even though you battle it out on the ice, you still have a beer with the guys after, and it's been nice to see the skill go up as well with a lot of the younger players coming from junior C, junior B, whatnot. So it's been great so far. Like, we have no complaints.
Awesome, guys. So game one goes when in Elora?
8:30 Friday, and then 4:30 Stratford.
And then you're 4:30 Stratford. Fellas, I wish you all the best of luck as you chase down the Sleeman Cup in the upcoming playoffs. Thank you for joining me.
Appreciate it.
So some great insight there from the Irish and the Elora Rocks. That was Ty Campbell, of course, talking about their chances in the semifinal series against the Stratford Fighting Irish. They've got home games, all games starting at 8:30. Game 1, March 11th. Game 3, March 18th. Game 5, if needed, March 25th. And Game 7, March 27th, if needed. And the Stratford Fighting Irish, of course, hosting 2 games as well. This Saturday, March 12th, 4:30 at the William Allman Arena. And then they will have March 19th, again, Game 4 at the William Allman Arena. Should be a heck of a weekend for some semifinal hockey and the Western Ontario Super Hockey League.
So there it is. The semifinals set to go this weekend. Looking forward to it. We will get you up to date on how things went next week on the podcast. Again, the bed you're hearing underneath me, the music bed, Jamie Mines. The song Dad Bod suits the host. You can find his music on Spotify as well as Apple iTunes. Looking forward to it. We should have some dandy series, and we'll get you highlights and everything else next week. Thanks for tuning in.